Hey, thanks for joining me today. I picked out today some interesting pieces from my stamp collection that I want to show you. They're not rare, but they are interesting. And I've got 2 covers, 3 stamps, and this kind of unique item that I found yesterday. I went to a thrift shop here in Saginaw with my son David and our friend Gil. And this round tray has stamps laminated onto it. Well, not laminated, I think there's lacquer over them. But I believe it's probably from the 1960s. It's very cool and has some really interesting stamps. And what caught my attention to it first is a small black imperf Chinese stamp with dragons on it. We'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. So it's an interesting piece, a little different philatelic item for my collection, a little bit different, and yeah, kind of cool. So I think it's 1960s. And as I said, it measures about 10 inches across. 12 vintage stamps are on it, and I paid 99 cents, which I thought was pretty good for a sort of offbeat collectible like this. It's not in perfect shape, but it's still pretty cool. Now, there are a number of stamps from Germany, one with a lion and a giraffe, and also there's a stamp from Norway, one from San Marino, and then there's Italy and China are represented on here also. And as I was saying just a moment ago, now the one from China looks to be quite old. I mean, much older than the other stamps that are on here. But not knowing how to read their characters, I'm having a hard time tracking that particular one down exactly. So maybe you could help if you know anything about the stamp you're looking at right now. Please take a minute and let me know in the comments. The stamp is black on white paper, and it has a very ornate border, which is almost a classical Greek look to it, though it's not. But the stamp is imperf, and in the center are 2 characters from their alphabet, and on either side of that are 2 different dragons, and different from each other. So that's a very cool stamp. A quick internet search came up with nothing on this stamp, though, other than imperf. That's I could find nothing on it on the internet. Chinese stamps with dragons date back to the 1860s, and this one could be quite that old. It looks like it could be quite that old. But if it would turn out to be old and rare, it would have to be carefully removed from the tray by a professional. But I doubt that it's rare. But it could be. So if you know anything about it, like I said, please let me know. Now, if it would, let's leap forward to the 1940s now and take a look at a very cool postal cover from the United States, this one. This is an event cover, as it was issued at a particular, well, event. The event in question being the first flight of airmail service by helicopter in the Los Angeles area. Now, this is an airmail postal envelope at the 5-cent rate, and it features George Washington and Benjamin Franklin. It's had a lot more on it as you look closely at it. It also has a Pony Express rider, a steam locomotive, a more modern streamlined train engine, and a ship and an aeroplane. Now, the cover is postmarked El Monte, California, October 16th, 1947, 11:30 a.m. And on the reverse, it is again postmarked as 18 Los Angeles, California, October 16th, 1947, at 3:30 p.m. So this cover, addressed to Arthur F. Simonescu in New Jersey, was helicopter flown with the entire trip from El Monte to Los Angeles taking only 4 hours. And I don't know if it took 4 hours to make that trip, but from the time it was deposited for mail and actually arrived at its destination was about 4 hours. So that's an interesting cover because I would have expected that helicopters would have been used in the Postal Service prior to this for mail delivery. And they might have been. This was for the Los Angeles area, so I So helicopters may have been used in other parts of the country. Now, let's take a look at another much earlier postal cover. This one is from 1899, and I've not fully researched this one as yet, and it could yield a very interesting backstory. You see, this was sent to Professor Edwards at Notre Dame University in Indiana, and it was sent from Marshall, Michigan on January 25th, 1899 at 8 o'clock p.m. This postpaid envelope is green and white, 2-cent rate, featuring President Washington. The cover is twice canceled on the back, and which is when it was received at its destination. One cancellation was from South Bend, Indiana on January 26, 1899 at 5 a.m. and this cancellation features a long flag banner with 12 stars. It was a typical cancellation used in this time frame. And it was received the same day at 8 a.m., only 3 hours later. So, was Professor Edwards anyone well known? A man of some interesting accomplishment? And like I said, I'm still checking that out. But other covers and postcards that I've found over the years, and checking the people that they were sent to or written by, I have gotten some really fascinating historical and valuable pieces for a song. If you're, just by buying different lots of, or collections of things, So, it was, as I said, I'm still checking that out. So there could be an interesting backstory behind that. If there is, I will be sure and share that with you in an upcoming video. Okay. Now, besides artifacts and relics and airplanes and helicopters and sundry other items, I also collect art glass, and I have a few pieces of ancient glass. Not very many. They're very expensive, and all I actually have are shards, and even just the small shards of like ancient Roman glass can be very pricey. However, this stamp that you're seeing now attracted me because the stamp from Germany has an ancient glass picture on it, and the artifact features blue and gold embellishment, classical shape with delicate flowing curves, construction, and pouring spout. This is as close as I will ever get to owning a glass artifact intact like this, as they are priced from infinity or to infinity and beyond. But it's a beautiful stamp. And then lastly, there's 2 stamps in this that I have in this set. I don't know if there's more stamps in the set, but these are the 2 I purchased, and these are from Ifni, and they feature the prehistoric looking hammerhead shark. Now, Ifni is a former North African enclave of Spain and is now part of the southwestern region of Morocco along the Atlantic coast. Now, the hammerhead, so aptly honored on these stamps, is part of the sharks that form the family, see if I can say this, Sphaeronidae family. I don't know if I'm even close. But, of course, they are named for the unusual and distinctive structure on their heads, which, when God created them, He gave them the flattened and laterally extended head with eyes on both ends in the hammer shape. And they live from 20 to 30 years. So, these are just a couple items that I wanted to share with you. There are many, many more. So many fascinating issues and covers and things to look at, and there's certainly, in the hobby of collecting postage stamps, there is something for just about virtually everyone. So, if you don't, consider it, and consider exposing some of the young people that you know in your life to collecting postage stamps. It is fun, and it's a learning experience, and it's just a great hobby to have. So that's what I have for you this time. I'll be back with you real soon with something else special from my collection. Thank you for stopping by. God bless all of you. Love you very much. And God willing, see you soon.